Remember this. Welcome and hello. But one thing to remember, that if you are a Christian, then you are the sanctuary of God and Christ. Let's establish that narrative, because it is very important. So this is the second Faithful Friday, episode 10, installment 10. Hopefully this will be just one video instead of 3 like yesterday on the 9th video, which I'm sure it will be, to establish us in what we're talking about. Let's start with Hebrews 9, verse 1. Then verily the first wrong. Okay. Start. Oh no, I was right. Sorry, team. Must be tired. Verse 1, chapter 9. Then verily the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary. Notice, first covenant, the Mosaic covenant of old, the Old Testament, the Old Covenant. And it says a worldly sanctuary. It defines its terms. So therefore, if there is a worldly sanctuary, then there's a heavenly one. Verse 2. For there was a tabernacle made first, wherein was the candlestick and the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary. All this is set up as a sanctuary. Let's find out a little bit more about the sanctuary. If we go back to chapter 8 of Hebrews, we can easily look at verses 1 and 2. Now the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such an high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched, and not man. Notice, it doesn't say both the Lord pitched, which is to indicate that true tabernacle and sanctuary is singular. And this person in verse 1 is Jesus, of course. Therefore, when we come down to verse 2, and he's a minister of the sanctuary and the true tabernacle, which the other one is just a figure of. It says the Lord pitched it, and not man. Okay, we can go back one verse into chapter 7, verse 28 to make sure it's clear that it's Jesus going on. Is Jesus what's happening here? For the law maketh men high priests which have infirmity. But the word of the oath, which was since of the law, maketh the Son, who is consecrated forevermore. He is the high priest, the minister of the sanctuary. So both the old covenant had a high priest and the new covenant has a high priest. The old covenant was a high priest, Aaron, ministered to the sanctuary of the worldly sanctuary, but the heavenly sanctuary Christ ministers to. All right. For us to get even further in this concept about the sanctuary, we must go all the way back to Exodus chapter 15, verse 17. Actually, we'll even start at 16. So, Exodus chapter 15, verse 16 and 17. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine arm they shall be as still as a stone, till thy people pass over, O Lord, till the people pass over which thou hast purchased. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. Okay. It almost sounds like they're distinct things, though. The sanctuary and the people. Let's read on. Going to Exodus 25. It's good to keep those kind of distinctions in mind, because maybe we are to think that the sanctuary is only that which we go into. Possible. Verse 28 of chapter 25 of Exodus. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them. Keep that in your mind. Why? Exodus completes its thought in Ephesians chapter 2. Paul, thousands of years later, writes Ephesians and sees something incredible about the church, about the majesty on high and what he has done. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 18, going down to the end of the chapter, which is verse 22. For through him we both have access by one Spirit unto the Father. Now, therefore, ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of God, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles